What is up, y'all? It is me, Tasha C. And this particular video, I don't think I was ever expected to actually do in my lifetime. Which is a person has been indicted and is charged with Tupac's case of no longer being here. Now, you have to be safe of the words that you use now. So, or smurder to say the least. It's been 27 years. Ain't about been 27 years since someone has been charged with the unaliving of Tupac Shakur. There's a lot to say, but it's just like this just came out today. Hopefully I'll have the video before it's midnight. But this actually happened earlier today. Now, actually, the guy who did it basically has been bragging for years about it. And we'll go further, like, okay, why is this person only charged? It depends how much you stay in the video. Listen more to the video and watch it about why he was the one charged. Okay. Also, I know this is so random, but I know I gotta make another podcast in the late future. Well, it'll be like this Sunday. I'm probably gonna do an hour show on AMP where I can play some music and try to do more so lighthearted entertainment stuff at the most, and just talk and rant there. So hopefully I'll remember to put the link, just in case y'all want to listen. It'll be mostly R&B and rap music for times I do have music in there to play. Like I said, it's my first show, y'all. And also hint, it's Libra season, and no offense to the rest of y'all, but my birthday is October the 8th. So yeah, I wanted to put that in while I had the chance. But let's get back. Like I said, I'll try to put the link in the description box about my upcoming epic. Like I said, it'll be at 10:08 p.m., which is exactly my birthday time on Sunday. I know it's a random time to have, but I'll try it that, or say if I get enough people in the future, I'll try to make more shows and try to make a better date, for it time. But anyways, y'all, let's get on to talking about this possible finally solving the case of this cold case of several years. Well, based on some of the articles that I'm going to use, warning, some of the stuff will be repetitive, but at the same time, there are certain things that suggest that they have been working on it, then it stopped and nobody was saying anything, and that was also why it became stalling with this coming up, or somebody being held, or persons being held accountable for this. Not only is this a surprise, but there's some people, even probably to this day, who believe Tupac is still actually here, but just faked his own early passing and so forth. Okay, especially with the catalog of songs that he had years that came out after his passing. Okay, if you're wondering who the hell is Tupac Shakur, say if you never heard of whatever, he was a actor, activist, as well, rapper, lyricist person, and so forth. And yeah, he's controversial at times. And originally he was from New York. I do not know what part, but his family had moved to California, I think, in his late adolescent teen years. Used to be friends with Jada Pinkett. The first time I actually heard him rap or one of his talents, which was in music. If you heard about the group, which Shock G was a part of, y'all remember, if you ever remember the song on Humpty Dance, that's when it was a song called Saint Throw. He threw Digital Underground. I think Shock G produced for some of his early albums before he got into controversial worker later Death Row. Okay. And he used to be friends with Biggie, but actually this was not the first time Tupac, I'm not trying to make fun and say the word pew pew, but there's a reason why I'm using that. He survived that, but he was robbed at a studio in somewhere in New York, and he thought because also Biggie and I think Lil Cease was there. Okay, let me know if I'm wrong, y'all. I'm just remembering for all the story, that I do know about it, that he thought they had something to do with it. So then it became a wherever it was, like from people, even from Notorious B.I.G., who was also a popular rapper that died. They used to be, like I said, his friend and turned rival, and also passed away 6 months of the same thing in California, leaving a party, and the same demise happened to him as well. And I don't think Puffy was in the same car with him. I think Puffy, Puffy Love Diddy was in another car. But anyway, that's just a short thing. And the first movie that I noticed that he was like in a starring role, he stood out, was, like, you could add it also as opposed to, was the movie called Juice. Okay. If you got it, want to listen to like some, not listen, but I meant to say, well, you can't listen way too, like, I think Me Against the World came before All Eyes on Me and stuff. Listen, you can like some bad records. But yeah, y'all, hearing this today was shocking. And I'm going to put up in a video, like, somebody that you fights for justice as well, called Tizzy, I think, Entertainment or something. I want to put his video and put up a couple clips about finding out about this eye-opener that I seriously did not think, and probably some other people think will ever happen, is possibly finally some justice for what happened. But personally, me, y'all, before I add this clip, I want to remember, if y'all ever listen to the song off of Tupac's Machiavelli album, Hail Mary, which is possibly classic itself, if y'all seen the video, it's one of those videos that was made, of course, after his passing. It was still, videos where you have like somebody say sitting in it, it's supposed to be Tupac, or maybe animation or clips or whatever, that still made music videos for some of his songs. She's not the first or the last person that, that it happened to, artists that it happened to. But it kind of reminds me, so like based on the information, like what happened in a way, like karma came back, or vengeance came back for the people. Depending if y'all stayed long enough for the video where I go into that article. But anyway, stop rapping. But like I said, it's like people having to answer for what they, not to say now what the answer is, but it was just like, okay, I was surprised that happened.
What? They made an arrest in the killing of Tupac Shakur? I did not have this on my 2023 bingo card. And I opened the story kind of expecting something crazy, completely out of left field. Like it was the butler in the library with the candlestick. But no, it was 60-year-old Duane Davis, aka Keffe D. And if you don't know who that is, he has for years and years and years been bragging about the fact that he was in the car that shot Tupac Shakur. Like he literally wrote and published a memoir called Compton Street Legend, where he went into great detail about being in the car and then disposing of the gun and then fixing and painting the car before returning it to the car rental place. But he blamed it on, I believe it was his nephew, as the trigger man, who conveniently was killed, I believe, in a drive-by shooting. But police raided his home, I think back in July, and then made an arrest today. And I just... if you had given me 100 guesses today and said, guess what happened today? Never would have even come, even in the solar system, where the idea that they would make an arrest in the Tupac Shakur slaying, it wouldn't have come up. So, it's just, I don't know what to say.
Okay, now this is the first thing I seen. It was like early this morning, I think around 9 something a.m. or It was 8 hours ago, but I mean, it was earlier in the day. And this was from the neighborhood talk staff. Yes, that's the IG handle. Neighbors look like an arrest has been made in connection to Tupac's unaliving. Keffe is behind bars nearly a month after police raided his home in connection of the unit. To be clear, his charges have not been revealed to the public just yet, but Las Vegas police have confirmed he is in custody. According to multiple news sources, Duane Keffe Davis was arrested Friday morning. Many of you are probably familiar with him for a long time because he admitted to being present with Tupac's In his 2019 tell-all memoir, Compton Street Legend, he said he was in the Cadillac where the gunfire erupted during the 1996 drive-by. During the raid, police reported collecting multiple computers. This was already saying like cell phone, hard drive, a bio magazine featuring Shakur, Capable 2 tubs containing photographs, a copy of 2010 memoir. He admitted publicly in an interview for BET that his nephew Lane Anderson was in the back seats when was in the backseat when the shots were fired. Tupac, shortly after a casino bar earlier evening, Varn Anderson, Shakur, and their crews. Okay, y'all. Well, like I said, some of the information I'm going to be using, like also clips, whatever, will be speeded up, for certain reasons, such so hopefully it won't be copywritten. And also, I'll have news clips, and I may possibly at the end of this, if you want to wait a video, they have almost like a 20-minute. I'm first going to put a regular clip in, kind of give information about how it came indictment. But I do want, because this man said it's just old words clear. It's like he basically, got like neon lights and shit around him, basically saying like, yeah, I had something to do with this, so what? And especially feeling invincible, like I said, he making memoirs and shit about this incident, and basically getting paid for something that he did. Now, by this time, I forgot to mention earlier, like I said, when I did my little mini so-called bio, I did the best I could, y'all, but just remember top of my head. What I remember about Tupac Shakur, when he had got arrested for, having affiliation to do with the grape charge he got, like I said, y'all look it up, that he was involved in. After he got out, he basically, I think that's when he signed the death records with Suge Knight. Okay, he from the West Coast, Diddy from the East Coast. If y'all even look up this, maybe of course it might be out about the Suge incident, saying you want to come Death Row Records when because I think Suge Knight used to be a former bodyguard or something, but he talking about where the records that ain't dancing your videos, come to Death Row Records, blah blah blah, which Snoop Dogg has basically bought and being up on bringing back Death Row Records, I think, which is another legend. But anyway, but like I said, y'all, here's some more clips about leading up to his arrest. Well, basically this dude just bragging. And by the way, I wanted to put this in real quick, even though that has nothing to do with it. When I was looking for information, it turns out only Eminem, who is from Detroit, Michigan, where I'm from, where I was born and raised, and Tupac were the only hip-hop of this era that made it to diamond status. Is from WTF facts. Wow. Okay.
So let's talk about what happens next. Based on what the book says, Zip gave you guys a Glock, and you guys tossed it in the backseat. And Bubble Up was the driver, and Baby Lane and Freaky were in the backseat.
We were just all in the car again.
Okay. This was the white Cadillac.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys are driving around, and then you hear these girls say, Tupac, Tupac.
No, we coming up, what's the name? What's that, Flamingo? Yeah, I think that's Flamingo. We was coming up Flamingo, and got to the light. He was gonna go drink and smoke some weed, and he happened to be hanging out the window. He was hanging out the window like he was at a parade.
Tupac?
Yeah, he was.
So what happens next?
And we just came, and shit. I ain't gonna go into details like that, you know what I'm saying? But, you got it in the book. You done played it, everything else, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Well, in the book, you said that as you're driving up towards the BMW, with Suge driving and Tupac in the passenger seat, and you said that Tupac pulled out a gun.
It looked like he was reaching, yeah. Yeah, it did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you actually see a gun?
Nah, shit. Once he got the reaching, I got the ducking.
So someone from your car started shooting at Tupac and Suge.
Lane starts blasting. You say Suge looks over, he sees you.
Yeah.
He looks right at you?
Yeah, he looked at me. Okay.
Well, he looks over at you, and then, you know, Tupac's busy getting shot. Evidently, the story is Tupac's trying to either get out
In the back seat or something.
Yeah, what do you see happening inside that car?
I seen the bullet going straight again. I thought he was dead.
So Orlando shot him across Dre?
He leaned over on the window, around the window, popped. They were drove on my side, I would pop it. You know what I'm saying? But they was on the other side.
Right.
I'm not gonna go into details on that one. Keep it streets on me. I ain't gonna go into detail on that.
I'm gonna go ahead and read from the book.
Well,
So
let him buy the book then.
Okay, well, I'm just gonna read this passage. The shit was on. Tupac made an erratic move and began to reach down beneath his seat. It was the first and only time in my life that I could relate to the police command. Keep your hands where I could see them. Instead, Pac pulled out a strap, and that's when the fireworks started. One of my guys from the backseat grabbed the Glock and started busting back. The first shot, skin shook in the head, and I thought that motherfucker was dead. I heard some stories supposing that Suge used Tupac as a shield when the bullets started flying, but that's some bullshit. Suge was already wounded, and he was the one that got touched. As the rounds continued flying, I ducked down so I wouldn't get hit.
Basically, yeah.
The white Cadillac arm came out the back seat and started letting off. What went through your head when you saw that? They shoot my nigga. So, the bullets started flying. Tupac and Suge's car get all shot up. Was there... And I'd heard different versions of the story, but the one version I heard was that that their entourage started shooting back.
Basically, yeah.
Okay. Does anyone from the death row side return fire?
Yes.
Okay. Can you say who that was?
Yeah, he's no longer with us. His name was Buntry. One of his right-hand guy, our good friend, Alton McDonald. He chased the car down. He also received one gunshot to his vehicle. His car was shot. He had a black Toyota Supra. And him and another guy returned shots at the car.
Yeah, and they saying they left their guns, I don't know. They started shooting back. Then some chicks was in the sea breeze, started following. A white sea breeze, ragtop sea breeze.
Why were the girls following you guys?
I don't know.
Okay.
That's crazy.
But I guess their window got shot out.
Front windshield, yeah.
And they stopped following you at that
Yeah,
point.
exactly.
I've talked to a couple people that were there about the situation, and from what they told me was that, you know, you guys came up, you know, the car that you were in came up behind Tupac's car. You guys didn't, the cars were not facing each other.
No, they weren't facing each other.
They were not facing each other.
Got it right.
You guys got up parallel to them behind them. And, you know, when you look
Side
at
by side.
Side by side. So how would you even see Tupac reach for anything if you're driving behind him?
We weren't driving behind, he was side by side at the light.
Oh, okay. You guys were already side by side.
Yeah.
Mike Tyson, how you feel about him saying that he wish he had 5 seconds in a room with Tupac killed?
And I only need 1 second with you, dude. You leave me the fuck alone and keep boxing, dude. You a boxer. That's not no fucking case. If my mind fucks with me, nigga, wow! Wow! Really, I ain't got no problem with Mike Tyson, bro, like that. I know damn well I can't whoop him. I was just fucking around, you know what I'm saying? I know I didn't hit that, damn.
It looked like, yeah, he was trying to jump in the back seat or something. He was like breakdancing or some shit. Yeah.
Alright, so
Now, the last clip that I showed y'all was actually him basically like mimicking when Tupac was, you know, like, had got pew-pew. And it was like, that's not a joking matter. It's like, it's self-incriminating, like, becoming more of a trend. You know, like certain other folks. Is this going to continue? You know, he's been doing it for several years, which I ain't going to lie. For a while, I was, like, watching when, you know, on and off a couple years about the Tupac and Biggie, because you know they had specials, even on VH1 had specials, or you rented them from VHS, you know, videotapes. I know people are like, what the, some people be like, what the hell is a DVD or CD or a place? But yes, you know, different stuff about that. But yeah, let's get into, like, you know, the indictment papers, a couple news articles. I'll save the longer one for last, and even a little news clip, or at least a clip of it, and probably news clips. I'm just letting y'all in advance. It's gonna be a couple clips back to back, maybe another additional 10 minutes. You know, y'all, I'll be talking, but I do want to make sure I let y'all know the advance what y'all get into. But let's get into these next clips.
Keffe and his entourage get into a white Cadillac, along with Keffe. The driver is a guy named Terrence Brown. We call him Bubble Up. Behind the driver is DeAndre Smith. He's in the left rear passenger seat. And Keffe, nephew Orlando Anderson, is sitting behind the right front passenger seat. All Southside Crips.
The homies said Death Row guys going to have a concert at the 662 Club. Oh, we went to the 662 Club. I ran the door at the 662. I seen Orlando and them when they pulled up in the Cadillac, and I told my homies, Southside's up here. My homies that was at 662. Everybody had their guns. We knew it was going to be something. They said about 5 minutes. Tupac and Suge, they never show up. So we left.
Keffe and crew go back towards the strip.
Stop and got some liquor. We was going to party and shit. Got a little drinks.
Meanwhile, Tupac and Suge are driving towards the 662 Club. Behind them, there are some girls screaming, Tupac, Tupac.
So we came up armed, and shit, here they coming at BMW.
all the chicks was like, Tupac, Tupac. He was like, hey, like a celebrity, like he was in a parade. He didn't even get out the window. We would have never seen him. My partner busted you. When we pulled up, I was in the front seat. Happened to see my friend, chill. She looks over, he sees you. Yeah. He looks right at you. Yeah, he looks at you. You said the shots came from the back. Big Dre, Orlando. Who shot? Tupac. I keep it pretty cold in the streets. It just came from the back seat, bro.
Okay, I just wanted to show you when I read the indictment, statements. This is Megan Cuniff, also the reporter on a lot of, recent, famous cases. I guess she's in the courtroom or indictment, whatever. But, that's where I got these 2 pages to talk about the indictment and stuff. But here she has it. Shout out to Lynn. I think she's talking about, I know she's probably talking about it as well. But here's the indictment for Duane Keffe Davis and Tupac's murder via Clark County DA. It names the Southside Compton Crips and says Davis got the used in this murder for the purpose of seeking retribution against Tupac or Marilyn A.K. Suge. So, hopefully I can put the video to, right behind us, the little clip where I'm reading these 2 pages that she has listed. In this particular article, which is from icecreamcombos.com, which has the full link. Okay, you can listen to the article. Duane Keffe Davis is arrested in connection of the unliving of Tupac Shakur, which is the same Friday, September 29, 2023. Duane Keffe Davis was reportedly arrested early Friday morning with suspicion of murder in the connection of the 1996 of the unliving of the rapper icon Tupac Shakur. The news of the arrest comes 2 months after Las Vegas police served a search warrant at the home of Davis' wife in Henderson in July, and they were looking for items concerning this murder of Tupac. Law enforcement collected multiple computers, a cell phone, a hard drive, a Vibe magazine that features Tupac, several .4 caliber 2 tubs containing photos, and a copy of Keffe's memoir. The beloved rapper actor was on September 7, 1997 in Las Vegas after a Mike Tyson fight. Tyson was sitting in the passenger seat of a black sedan driven by Suge Knight, while he's still serving time right now. When a white Cadillac pulled up alongside of them in open park. The rapper passed in the hospital 6 days later from his injuries at the age of 25. In his memoir, Compton Street Legend, aka, I'm bragging as far as I'm concerned, Davis said he was in the front passenger seat of the Cadillac and had slipped the pew used in the unaliving into the back seat from where he said were fired. Keep the implications his nephew Orlando Baby Lane Anderson, saying that he was one of the people sitting in the back seat of the vehicle. You may recall Orlando was involved in a casino brawl with Tupac shortly before this shooting. Orlando, who also likes to gun violence 2 years later, denied any involvement with Tupac's passing. Greg Caney, a retired Los Angeles police detective, spent years investigating the Shakur killing and wrote a book about it, said he's not surprised by Davis' arrest. The former LPD detective said the Keffe's description of his role in on the living, as well as his memoir, gave the investigators new Okay, Exhibit A below also this, because he just went Vlad TV, just telling you so. And those events that have given Las Vegas the ammunition, I think I'm saying that correctly, and the leverage to move forward, Koenig said. Prior to keep these public declarations, the cases were prosecutable as they stood. Welp, we'll let notes to fall, some comments, and join the convo, and that's that.
Keffe D. Davis was arrested early this morning in Las Vegas. He has long been known to investigators and has himself admitted in interviews and in a tell-all memoir from 2019 called Compton Street Legend that he was in the Cadillac from which the gunfire erupted during the September 1996 fatal drive-by shooting.
I'm proud to announce the return of this document. This is the indictment we've been waiting almost 3 decades for. It spells out the facts and circumstances and what justifies a Clark County grand jury in returning an indictment. Justice will be served.
Davis is charged with murder. He is expected to make his first court appearance in the coming days.
I'm gonna go by again, Love B. Scott's page today. With the the journalist on Wednesday, Denver Sean, who is doing the story today that they was posted Pacific time. I think that means Pacific Standard Time. At September 29, 2003. Okay. Keffe D, man arrested with a connection of Tupac's unalive. Said Diddy allegedly offered $1 million to unalive the rapper and Suge Knight. Well, okay. Keffe D, the real name Keffe Davis, the man who was arrested on Fridays for alleged involvement in the unaliving of Tupac Shakur, once said Diddy offered him $1 million to unalive the late rapper and its then manager Suge Knight. On July the 2nd, 2018, David confessed to having a role. Okay, y'all, sorry, it went up a little bit. Having a role in unaliving of Tupac Shakur after revealing he was he was, becoming sicker with cancer, and went to say that he was the passenger in the white Cadillac on the night of the incident. He refused to name the other suspects in the car, but confirmed that the Pew Pew was Orlando Anderson, his nephew, and that it was out in retaliation for getting jumped at the MGM earlier, and the alleged $1 million bounty was by Puff Daddy. Davis developed a friendship with Sean Diddy Combs, which could contribute to the theory linking Diddy to Tupac's unaliving. This theory emerged in connection with the allegations made by the former LAPD detective Greg Calding in a documentary based on his book 2011 book on unaliving rap. Cannon claimed that Diddy had ordered a $1 million contract for the Pew Pew of Tupac and Suge Knight, which ultimately resulted in Tupac being fatally Pew Pew in Las Vegas later in that same year. According to Kennedy's assertions, Davis played a role in fascinating, this plan for Diddy, with Orlando Anderson identified as the alleged Pew Pew man, though so far this theory has never been proven. Orlando Anderson, another member of the Southside Compton Crips and the nephew of Duane Davis. Anderson was previously identified as a suspect in the Pew Pew as he had an alleged altercation with Shakur at the MGM Hotel on the Las Vegas Strip just hours before the drive-by Pew Pew took place. However, Anderson was Pew Pewed in a separate incident in 1998, approximately 2 years after the Pew Pew of Tupac Shakur. Well, it depends who you think, because, it's still, of course, speculations. and maybe even to this day, if he's even alive and somewhere in Ireland, somewhere, his passing was unrelated to the investigation into the rappers unaliving, and he was never officially charged or convicted Tupac's unaliving. Now that he's been arrested, we wonder what other alleged might come out.
Probably about at least another 20 minutes of clips. I just wanted to say,
that's just advertisement.
Hopefully this is justice.
We shall see
if they're gonna work on the, towards B.I.G.'s case, if he's been resolved or anybody's been counted for it, because it's around almost the same time. Maybe I might play some All Eyes on Me this weekend on the Amp Up podcast and watch on Hulu, which was a 4 to 5 or 5-ish or 6-part series about their mom, because his Tupac's mom, who's also passed away, rest her soul, a couple years ago, was a part of the Black Panthers. So I heard it was kind of interesting to watch, like, the documentary miniseries. So I may go and watch that as well. But yeah, I forgot one of my previous little clips I had in here, I accidentally meant to say Tupac instead of Mike Tyson. But anyway, like I said, is somebody that is here that 9 times out of 10 might be accountable because they've been able to get away and brag about it for almost 20 to 30-ish years about, being a part of something. And then the story changed a bit. First, one part say Diddy, one say this here, because also I'm going to have a clip that talks about his sister, finally possibly found, able to get justice as well. So, just let you know, some of the stuff will be repetitive, but also some will give more information and probably some news clips. And I'm going to leave, a couple, 1 or 2 clips of, a Tupac talking as well. But, like I said, even with this, I know there's still probably could be people that believe that, like, Tupac, why is he being arrested? It may be for attempt, but Tupac is still here. But that shows just how powerful his influence was, and rap, controversial or not, how much, not just talent, but influence that he had, that people don't even believe that he's unalive, like he's still here somewhere. You seen the videos and stuff like that they said, or to prove this person here, or that's probably him right there, or he's in Jamaica, the Bahamas somewhere, just living another life, and like Machiavelli faked his own passing. But like I said, hugs and loves, y'all. Hopefully y'all be at the AMP show. I remember the description, but I'm about to get here audio, like I said, and show some clips back to back, so probably another 30 minutes. But anyway, thank y'all and take care. Oops, enough I got to say hugs and love, y'all. All right, see y'all next time.
Remember one thing, through every dark night, there's a bright day after that. So no matter how hard it gets, stick your chest out, keep your head up, and handle it. First line, say the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. I say the darker the flesh, then the deeper the roots. I give all to my sister's own welfare. Tupac kids, and don't nobody else care. Check. I know they like to beat you down a lot, and when you come around the block, brothers clown a lot. Please don't cry, dry your eyes, never let up. Forgive, but don't forget, girl, keep your head up. And when he tells you you ain't nothing, don't believe him. And if he can't learn to love you, you should leave him. Cause sister, you don't need him. And I ain't trying to cash up, I just call it how I see it. You know what makes me unhappy? When brothers make babies and leave a young mother to be a pap. Now since we all came from a woman, got our name from a woman, and our game from a woman, I wonder why we take from our women, why we rape our women, do we hate our women? I think it's time we kill for our women, time to heal our women, be real to our women. Cause if we don't have a race of babies that will hate the ladies that make the babies, and since a man can't make one, He has the right to tell a woman when and where to create one. So we're the real G's. Get up. I know you fed up, ladies. Get your head up.
Okay, now this is an exclusive that's from BT News. Okay. Exclusive, Tupac Shakur's sister speaks on the arrest and indictment of the suspect. Duane Keffe D. Davis is the first person to be arrested and charged for the 1996 fatal unaliving of the rapper. By BET Stab September 2023 on the 29th day, Friday, and this was uploaded or posted at 6:19 p.m. One of the biggest mysteries in hip hop may be finally solved. Officials announced earlier today, September 29th, that Duane Keffe D. Davis was arrested and charged in Las Vegas for the fatal of the rapper Tupac Shakur. Shakur's sister, I'm not going to mispronounce her name. Her nickname is called Set, last name Shakur. Exclusively tells BT.com in a statement that she is happy to see the light of justice prevail in the first ever arrest in the murder of her brother. This is no doubt a pivotal moment. The silence of the past 27 years surrounding this case has spoken loudly in our community. It's important to me that the world, the country, the justice system, and our people acknowledge the gravity of the passing of this man, my brother, my mother's son, my father's son. His life and death matter and should not go unsolved, unrecognized. So yes, today is a victory, but I will reserve that judgment until all facts and legal proceedings are complete. There have been multiple hands involved, and there remains so much surrounding the life and myth of my brother Tupac Shakur and our Shakur family overall. We are seeking real justice on all fronts. And if Nevada jury has now indicted Davis on one count of murder with a very harmful weapon, and recommended that up to an additional 20 years be added to the sentence for the murder charge because of his known gang affiliation. Davis, 60, is said to be one of the 4 suspects who were there the night of Shakur was unalived. Davis snitched on himself, admitting 2019 memoir, so he making money off of this. A Compton Street legend that he was the one who provided the weapon, I guess you say, in the looting, promoting investigators to look even further into the story, singling him out as a potential suspect. While they do not believe he is the there's enough evidence to indicate that he was involved on the night Shakur was while riding in the passenger side of Maryland Suge Knight's car, waiting at a red light on the Vegas Strip. For 27 years, the family of Tupac has been waiting for justice, said the Clark County Sheriff Kevin McHale at a news conference Friday, as reported by the Associated Press. While I know there's been many people who did not believe the murder of Tupac Shakur was important to police department, I'm here to tell you that it simply was not the case. A lot of people still don't believe that not a lot of people, I can't sit here and generalize and just say that, but some people of the state question even if he's like faked his own unaliving, was living somewhere private, not whatever.
7 years, the family of Tupac Shakur has been waiting for justice. We are here today to announce the arrest of 60-year-old Duane Keffe Davis, aka Keffe D, for the murder of Tupac Shakur. Davis was arrested this morning by my LVMPD criminal apprehension team, and this investigation started on the night of September 7th, 1996. It is far from over. It has taken countless hours, really decades, of work by the men and women of our homicide section to get to where we are today. Several of those detectives that are standing here with us include Detective Cliff Mogg, the lead detective on this case. He is now retired. While I know there's been many people who did not believe that the murder of Tupac Shakur was important to this police department, I'm here to tell you that was simply not the case. It was not the case back then, and it is not the case today. Our goal at LVMPD has always been to hold those accountable and responsible for Tupac's violent murder accountable. Just like we do for every homicide victim in our city. Every single victim.
Attorney Steve Wilson.
Thank you, Lieutenant Johansson. I appreciate it. Good afternoon. I am the Las Vegas, Clark County District Attorney Steve Wolfson. It has often been said, justice delayed is justice denied. It's a quote we hear often and for many, many years when talking about our legal system, but not in this case. Today, justice will be served in the murder of Tupac Shakur. I'd like to acknowledge the relentless work of the many Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department homicide detectives. We've mentioned Detective Cliff Mogg many times, and we can't mention his name enough. He is the detective, along with his colleagues, that brought this case here today to you. A Clark County grand jury has indicted Duane Keith Davis with 1 count of open murder with use of a deadly weapon with a gang enhancement. Davis will appear in court in the next few days or so for a hearing to determine his custody status and to set a jury trial date. This grand jury has been receiving evidence for months and has determined there is sufficient evidence to justify the filing of this criminal indictment. I've assigned 2 of my top prosecutors, Mark DiGiacomo and Banu Palal, to prosecute this case. I know a lot of people have been watching and waiting for this day. Tupac Shakur is a music legend, and for a long time, this community and worldwide have been wanting justice for Tupac. Today we are taking that first step. Tupac was actually quoted as saying, "Death is not the greatest loss in life. The greatest loss is what dies inside while still alive. Never surrender." Well, we didn't surrender thanks to the great work of the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department under the leadership of Sheriff Kevin McMahill, Lieutenant Johansson, retired Detective Cliff Mogg. I am proud to announce the return of this document. This is the indictment we've been waiting almost 3 decades for. It spells out the facts and circumstances and what justifies a Clark County grand jury in returning an indictment. Justice will be served. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. I'd just like to say that the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department Homicide Section year over year solves over 90% of the homicides that occur in our jurisdiction. You won't find that anywhere else in the United States. For those family members that have lost somebody that we haven't solved that case, I want you to know, just like in this case, we're not going to give up. I also say to you that as we begin, we're going to take a couple of questions. I want you to remember in your questioning that this investigation, subsequent arrest, and now indictment is only the beginning of the process. And we are committed and invested in ensuring a successful prosecution as we move forward. So with that, we'll take any questions that you might have.
Sheriff, excuse me. Sheriff, thank you. Have you been in touch with the Shakur family, anyone within here today? And if so, can you characterize what they told you?
The family has reached out to my office. I imagine also to Metro. We've been in communication with them. We understand that they are welcoming this news, they are pleased with this news, and they are certainly aware of the return of this indictment.
we anticipate them being at court for arraignment of Mr. Davis?
I don't think they'll be at the arraignment. I mean, that's a relatively short hearing, but I know that they'll be involved. I know that they'll want to be apprised of what goes on a frequent basis.
Back. Can you talk about any of the statements that he made that piqued your curiosity again or got you back into this case?
Jason, you want to answer that? We're not going to talk about any particular statements, but maybe he can address that globally.
What I'll say is there's lots that's going to come out when it comes time for trial, but he provides his own series of statements that are very consistent with the evidence that we have on the scene that we've obtained through our investigation. I'll leave it at that.
Can you identify anything that came from the raid, the service of the warrant in July that you didn't know before?
Yeah, that's a good question. What I'll say about the search warrant that we did in July, that we obtained information or evidence during that execution of that search warrant that corroborated information obtained through our investigation, and I'll leave it at that until we go to trial.
Go ahead.
Hello, Tiffany Lane with Channel 3. So I know that this was obviously a big move. Is there anyone else being looked at this point? I know a lot of people have passed away since this incident, but is anyone else being looked at as part of this investigation still?
So as I stated earlier, in this case, the only living suspect related to this investigation is Duane Davis. All other 3 suspects are deceased.
Vanessa.
Thank you. Vanessa Murphy, Channel 8. Steve, can you talk about the murder charge if he is not the one believed to have pulled the trigger?
Yes, well, under Nevada law, and this is the law in most states in this country, you can be charged with a crime whether you're directly involved or whether you're an aider and abetter. We have an aiding and abetting statute, which provides that if you help somebody commit a crime, you can be equally as guilty. The best example is 2 guys that agree to commit a bank robbery, and one of them goes into the bank with a gun and actually commits the robbery, and the other guy is the getaway driver. Never went in the bank, but he assisted the guy that went in the bank, so he's equally guilty. That is one of the theories in this case as well.
Last question.
Do investigators believe that Davis was the only person behind the plan to kill Tupac, or was he one of multiple people who came up with this plan?
I think the best way to characterize that is Duane Davis was the shot caller for this group of individuals that committed this crime, and he orchestrated the plan that was carried out to commit this crime.
And can you say how he obtained the gun or who he obtained it from?
We know that he obtained it from a close associate. That a lot of the actual details of who specifically, all that come out at trial, but he obtained it from a close associate of his.
Thank you for coming. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Another one that's going to be the last article that I'm going to use. I don't know where I'm going to place this in this thing. Okay. All right. Now, the man is charged with the murder of Tupac Shakur. This is New York Times. Maybe they might show who. I guess they haven't. The man, a former gang leader named Duane Keith Davis, that said forward in 1996, came from a vehicle he was riding in. Now, this is the police department. I'll probably show a clip of that later. Oh, here's some people who wrote the okay, this is under the clip, where they're saying officers said the investigation into the unlawing was reinvigorated in 2018 after a self-described gang member, Duane Keith Davis, admitted to multiple media that he was involved by Joe. I don't know, that's something that we're just going to say Joe with the first initial of his last name, C, and Julia Jacobs, that wrote it today again as September 29, 2023, updated 6:10 p.m. Eastern Time. Okay, more than 25 years after the robbing Tupac Shakur became a defining tragedy in hip-hop, a self-describing gang member who had recently claimed that he participated in rioting was indicted on a murder charge. Las Vegas prosecutors said on Friday, reviving a blockbuster investigation that had long stalled.
The man, Duane Keefe Davis, has said in interviews in the memoir that he was in the front passenger seat of a white Cadillac that pulled up near the vehicle, holding Mr. Shakur after a 1996 prize fight between Mike Tyson and Bruce Seldon in Las Vegas. The 25-year-old rapper was puked 4 times and died and passed in a hospital less than a week later. A grand jury in Clark County indicted Mr. Davis on 1 count of murder with the use of a deadly weapon plus a gang enhancement. A prosecutor said in court on Friday, Mr. Davis, whose arrest was early reported by the Associated Press, is in custody without bail. Despite plentiful speculation, evidence, and reporting across nearly 3 decades, no charges have ever been filed in the shooting of Mr. Shakur, who was one of the most popular artists in the 1990s, with tracks that brought poetic gravitas to confrontational gangster rap. But talk of the case has revived in July when the Las Vegas police executed a search warrant at a home in Henderson, Nevada, connected to Mr. Davis. Okay, here's a screenshot where they're talking about him in this instance. Mr. Keffe D's mugshot. Sheriff Calvin McMillan, who leads the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, at Friday's news conference about Duane Keefe Davis's indictment, John Law Associated Press. Mark DeMarco, a chef deputy district attorney in Clark County, said in court on Friday that Mr. Davis was on site commander who ordered the Mr. Shakur and the attempted murder of Marlon Knight, the Macamugra noticed Shug, who was driving the car holding the rapper. It was not immediately clear whether Mr. Davis had a lawyer. In his 2019 memoir, Mr. Davis, who goes by the name Keffe D, recounted a gang dispute that escalated after Mr. Shakur and his associates beat up Mr. Davis's nephew, Orlando Anderson, following the boxing match at the MGM Grand Hotel. Them jumping on my nephew gave us the ultimate green light to do something, Mr. Davis said in Minnear Compton Street legend. Tupac chose the wrong game to play. According to the copy of the indictment filed in Clark County District Court, prosecutors accused Mr. Davis of obtaining a cue for the purpose of seeking retribution against Mr. Shakur and Mr. Knight, and handling off the weapon either to his nephew or someone else in the Cadillac with the intent that this crime could be committed. Mr. Davis is the only person in the car who is still alive. Well, that's new information I didn't know, because I was wondering, like, okay, to say him, and I know he said his nephew passed away 2 years prior, which I didn't know. Mr. Giovanni acknowledged in court that the broad outlines of what had occurred that night were known to the police as far back as 1996. What? Okay, what was lacking was admissible evidence to establish this chain of events. The prosecutor said, noting that Mr. Davis then began to describe publicly. He admitted within the book that he did acquire the pew with the intent to go and hunt down Mr. Shakur and Mr. Knight. At the news conference on Friday, the Las Vegas police confirmed that Mr. Davis's own words reiterated their case, stating with a television appearance he made in 2018, "We knew at this time that that this was likely our last time to take a run at this case," Lieutenant Jason Ladson of the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department said. Mr. Davis had avoided directly naming the person who opened fire in recent interviews. In a taped confession released by former Las Vegas Police Department detective who investigated Mr. Shakur's murder, Mr. Davis told the police that it had been Mr. Anderson, his nephew, who was known as Baby Lane. Mr. Everson was questioned by officers investigating Mr. Shakur's death, but was killed. Unalived in the shooting in 1998.
In his memoir, Mr. Davis, who had also been known as Keefe G, said that after the man abandoned the car and walked back to a hotel, picking up the vehicle the next day and taking it back to California. It was cleaned and painted before its return to its rental. Days later, Mr. Davis said by that point it was too late for any forensics to be accurate and reliable, he noted. Okay, this is a copy of his book, Compton Street Legend. Okay, Duane wrote in his memoir, Compton Street Legends, that Tupac chose the wrong game to play. Immediately after Mr. Shakur's death, it was a flurry of activities in the investigation. More than 20 people were arrested in connection with the Pew Pew that the police said were subjects to be gang-related gang attacks. But as the years went on without any changes, Shakur's killing and the ruin of Notorious B.I.G., his friend turned rival 6 months later, fueled conspiracy theories and accusations that the police had not worked hard enough to bring his goons to justice. The Las Vegas police had cited a lack of cooperation from people close to Shakur as a reason to stall the investigation. No snitching, they ain't telling. The criminals became the subject of books, podcasts, movie series, films, YouTube videos, further elevating Mr. Shakur, known for his albums such as Me Against the World, on which he rapped about life impaired by violence, and All Eyes on Me, one of the Gene's first double albums, to a mythic role in hip-hop. And also all the songs that came in his catalog even after the quote his passing. Okay, that's me saying that. The investigation into the death of Notorious B.I.G. was revived by the Los Angeles Police Department in the mid-2000s, ultimately leading to re-examination of the Shakur. Greg Counting, one of the detectives involved in the inquiry, later wrote a book that detailed how investigators convinced Mr. Davis to cooperate with them through a proof agreement, meaning he could not be charged with a crime based on an incriminating statement he might have made in those interviews. Is that including Mr. Blad's interviews too? I saying because while I was about to start, forgive me, y'all, I thought about what I said. I was about to sing because I had been talking about that Kurt Franklin in the Revolution song. Give me y'all. I sing because they promised I would not be prosecuted, Mr. David wrote in his memoir. On the night of the shooting, Mr. Shakur had been traveling to BMW driven by Mr. Knight toward a post-fight after party at Club 662, a new venue backed by their record label, Death Row Records. Mr. Davis, self-described manager of the Crips, wrote in his memoir that he, Mr. Anderson, and others had armed themselves and waited in the nightclub parking lot, hoping to confront Mr. Shakur and Mr. Knight, who were associated with the Bloods, and about their earlier violence. When the rapper failed to materialize, Mr. Davis said the group waiting for him left for its hotel, only to encounter Mr. Shakur and Mr. Knight talking to fans at a red light. As they sat in traffic, we slowly rode down the long line of luxury cars they had in their caravan, looking into each one until we pulled up to the front vehicle and found who we were seeking, Mr. Davis wrote. I mean, if you're just saying, I did it again and get back. Mr. Davis, Mr. Shakur's crew had committed the ultimate disrespect when they kicked and beat down my nephew. They used to have that video. I couldn't show it anyway. I'll have to blank it out or whatever. But they used to have it. An attack thought to be retribution for earlier robbery of one of Shakur's friends. In his memoir, David described the strict code of the streets that its participants live, and alive by. Tupac and Biggie's deaths were direct results of that code violation and the explosive consequences when the powerful worlds of the streets, entertainment, and crooked-ass law enforcement collide, he wrote. Mr. Davis added that he had been considered prime suspect, in quotations, in both ruins, and called the writing about the events of his book therapeutic, in quotations. Sitting for an interview with rap chronicler known as DJ Blad, or aka you go there sometimes to snitch on your stuff, this year, Mr. Davis was asked whether he was concerned about disclosures could lead to a prosecution. Mr. Davis, who was into Carter roughly for 15 years, in part because of federal drug charges, said that he was not scared of prison. They want to put me in jail for life? He said, that's something I just gotta do. Joseph Speed contribute from the Las Vegas. Well, you may be getting something, you put it in the air, and you didn't ask for. Steve Gerson, okay. Indicted, NED, I don't, okay, let me just see here. Okay, the city of the Nevada versus the plaintiff defendant Duane Keith Davis, aka Keffe D. Indictment. Okay, the defendant also named Duane Keith Davis, accused by the Clark County grand jury of the crimes of unaliving with use with a deadly weapon with the intent to promote, further, or assist in a criminal gang. Category A, felony. I don't know what these codes mean. RS, okay, they're in the parentheses. Committed at and within the county of Clark, state of Nevada, on or about the 7th day of September 1996, as follows: did willfully, unlawfully, feloniously, and knowingly for the benefit at the direction of or in affiliation, hope I'm saying that correctly, with a criminal gang, to wit, Southside Compton Crips, which has as one of its common activities engaging in felonious, hope I'm saying it correct, criminal activities other than the conduct which constitutes the primary offense, and the defendant with specific intent to promote, further, or assist the activities of the Southside Crips gang with malice aforethought, unalive Tupac and Maru Shakur, a human being with the use of a very harmful weapon. I changed the word, y'all. To wit, a pew pew by pew pew. I'm not trying to be funny, y'all. I just don't want to get in trouble by saying certain words. At and or into the body of the said Tupac and Maru Shakur, and said the unaliving having been willful, deliberate, and premeditated, the defendant being criminally liable under one or more of the following principles of the criminal liability, to wit, number one, by directly committing this crime, and or number two, by aiding or abetting in the commission of this crime, with the intent that this crime be committed by counseling, encouraging, hiring, commanding, inducing, and or otherwise procuring the other to commit the crime, to wit, the defendant obtaining, I'm gonna say, a pew pew, for the purpose of seeking retribution against Tupac and Maru Shakur and or Marlon Knight, aka Suge, and while in a vehicle with Terrence Brown, aka Bubble Up, and or DeAndre Smith, aka Big Dre, and or Orlando Anderson, aka Baby Lane, did provide, said the pew pew to DeAndre Smith, aka Big Dre, and or Orlando Anderson, aka Baby Lane, with the intent that said co-conspirators, commit said crime, and or number three, pursuant to a conspiracy to commit this crime with the intent that this crime to be committed, defendant and or Orlando Anderson, aka Baby Lane, and or DeAndre Smith, aka Big Dre, and or Terrence Brown, aka Bubble, aiding or abetting and or conspiring to act in the concert throughout. Date on the 28th day of September 2023. Okay, Stephen B. Wilson, Clark County District Attorney, Nevada Bar, with this information by Mark, I don't know the man's last name. I ain't gonna even try to pronounce it. The Deputy District Attorney, and endorsed by True Bill, 4-person Clark County Grand Jury. You probably heard Mr. Fluff in the background. He's asleep.